Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to join me today. I know some of you are on lunch break, so the video will be available after it's over. Uh, I will be inviting guests on the stage today, and I have a few special guests coming in, but I will be inviting guests on the stage today to add to the conversation. And shout out to my moderator, Tiffany. Tiffany monitored this pretty closely because we're going in today. We're going in and talk about the debacle that is occurring in front of our eyes, and we're gonna talk about some steps we can take independent of that individual's rants. I'll classify it as rants because that's all it is, rants. So if you can hear me, just give me a one. Just give me a one. Guys, if you can hear my voice, just give me. Okay, very good. That's all. When I say give me that one, so we can go in. Okay, so yesterday I had a prominent legal mind on the platform and discussing the possibility of the blogger lady Tasha K seeking bankruptcy in her case. We learned a lot from that conversation yesterday. Some things I wasn't fully aware of, but he kind of brought it home for me in that he spoke about what is not dischargeable in bankruptcy court. He spoke about the punitive damages and how that cannot be discharged. So yeah, that was a very important takeaway. But I think everybody want to talk about what happened prior to our interview with Mr. Mark Link. Apparently, uh, the blogger lady uh, released a statement. She classified it as a speech on her, or I guess on one of her social media platforms, but it was a statement. Uh, she talked about this whole trial being a part of a bigger conspiracy. I'm gonna touch on a few of the things that she spoke about. That the trial was a conspiracy, that there was payola, uh, that what was found to be liable by the jury, uh, it wasn't. Everything she said, she's still repeating that it was true. And I think that there must be another approach, an additional approach to deal with this. Uh, uh, One of the things I would say that when you have already been rendered a verdict against you in the amount of $3.8 million, you should humble yourself because they may have been a parachute for you moving forward. Um, but I don't see that as even a option at this point. Now, the machine that you spoke so eloquently or uneloquently about, uh, the biggest machine that you spoke about was YouTube, so to speak. You're on the machine talking about how you were unfairly treated or how the things that were reported in the courtroom didn't happen. Well, I would beg to differ. I would beg to differ for a number of reasons. This case was covered by Law 360. It was covered by TMZ. It was covered by Hip Hop Inquirer. It was covered by myself. It was covered by bloggers, YouTubers as well covered it, and also lawyers covered it. There were two lawyers that covered this as well. That would be the lead attorney, and that would be Miss Brittany Dobbins. The lead attorney came in, took copious notes, as well as Brittany Dobbins. She also reported this. They are both officers of the court. Uh, so when you say that all the people, especially the media, that reported what was said in the courtroom, do you think that everyone's making up stories against you? I think that that was I don't know if it was a very poor deflection. Is in addition, there will be transcripts made available, assuming the judge allows it. We're going to make sure we put a motion into to get the copies of the transcript if there may, because that's public interest. The transcripts is public interest. What came out in court is public interest. So I do not think the judge would seal that, especially with such a quick verdict as well as such a sizable judgment. And I think that when you go to accuse people of the things that you accused them of without going into specificity, that poses a problem, because now you're telling everyone, you're telling the world with all the scribes you have that the justice system didn't work. It didn't work because you didn't win. It didn't work. It worked because the jury listened to all the evidence and the lawyers did a great job presenting it. And the fact that you didn't do it, your defense did an awful job, and you're a part of your defense. You did an awful job. And the phrase was, you use no, my husband didn't throw me under the bus. That was a question asked. And that wasn't, I mean, it's obvious from the testimony that what you threw him under the bus, you threw him under the bus. And we just, we speaking, it figuratively speaking, but the fact of the matter, it happened. I've never in my entire career seen a verdict come back this quick. And I think I talked about covering civil trials. And I do remember covering a good friend of mine's, DeBrat's trial in Superior Court in Cobb County. That trial was long. The deliberations was long. And I never seen a jury come back this quick. And when I said it was about 3 hours, I was calculating the lunch break. I was calculating them picking the foreman. But when they actually went to work and started thinking about the evidence, they came back with the first question within 15 minutes. And the first question was, can the judge just order her to take the videos down? But that wasn't a part of what went back to the delivery room, so the judge didn't rule on that. And then it was the second question. The second question was about the medical records. And the jurors came back and said, did someone authenticate the records? Well, the response, it was an affirmative. They were authenticated. So that's the only two things they had questions about. It wasn't did Miss KB raise a First Amendment argument to the court? So when you suggest that your First Amendment was violated, that was a lie. It was a lie because your defense never raised it. It would have been raised in pre-trial. It would have been decided that your First Amendment right wasn't violated. Then you spoke about the selection of jury. You spoke about the makeup of the jury and perhaps that you were unfairly treated by the jurors. Well, both sides, your defense attorney picked the jury as well as the plaintiffs picked the jury. You guys had strikes. You had peremptory strikes. There was a questionnaire. Each juror was interviewed individually and collectively. So if you had an issue with the makeup of the jury, it was your attorney's responsibility to raise what is called a Batson challenge. And the attorney yesterday broke what the Batson challenge is. You'll never raise that issue. So for you to say, you come onto your platform, because it is your platform, it's your platform, but it's also on a bigger platform, to say that the whole processes didn't work because you were unfairly treated. That was a bold-faced lie. But it's obvious based on the testimony that you have no problem with lying in the court, no problem with promoting a narrative just to benefit yourself financially. And I get it. While I don't get it, I think it shows the type of person you are, even though you have already lost your case. And ask yourself a question, and this is for the people that follow her. Do you believe the jury's verdict and the outcome of the case, or do you believe what she's telling you on her channel? At some point, we have to use common sense. We have to use reasoning. We have to use a, a level of discernment. So 1 second, guys. So one of my guests just texted me. Okay, so sorry about that. This is happening in real time. So here's another problem. When you attack the media, I'm going to show you the problem here. During the voir dire, during the charging of the judge giving the jury instructions, rather, before they went back into deliberation, not even deliberation, when they started out, the judge told them, you can't watch the media. You can't look at the news. You can't get on social media. You can't do none of that. You have to leave your notepads in the jury room. He gave them this instruction. There was never any information that came out that a juror violated the judge's order. So to say that the media was the problem, you would be saying that the jury violated the judge's order. Isn't that logical? That's very logical. So that argument won't fly either. And if your defense believed that the media violated the judge's order, they should have raised it. They should have raised it. And Judge William Ray II addresses issues as they come available. You saw how he dealt with your attorney when they obviously didn't understand the admission of evidence. So to suggest that this is a whole big conspiracy, I see what you're doing. You're trying to take things from the Alex Jones or InfoWars playbook, or the playbook of right-wing conspiracy theorists. And I think that what's happening now is people are seeing this and they're really taking notice. Now, as far as you going to the Supreme Court, that will never happen in this case. And I don't know if you understand how the Supreme Court work. I bet you right now you couldn't tell me all the justices in the Supreme Court. Because if you knew all the justices in the Supreme Court, then you probably would have not even said you're going to take this to the Supreme Court. This is not a case of violating your First Amendment. Okay, guys, I'm going to post the link right now. I want you guys to put you in the ones that are coming on stage. I'm going to make sure you have video, as a matter of fact. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. We're going to post it right here. That's for my guest here. Boom. There we go. That's the link. That's the link. If you don't have a problem with being on camera, you can come on and I'll put you on stage. I'm gonna post the link again just in case you didn't see it. Okay. I saw that Bible English. I did see that. I think you posted that on my I think you posted that. If you don't have an image there, I'm not going to bring you on stage. I'm not an image, but I see one person there already, but you got to go on camera. You must go on camera. Okay, guys, we have 1,000, 1,100 people there. I need for you guys to hit the like button. Don't be afraid to donate to the platform. Obviously, it costs to provide good content, to bring guests on, to put a decent production together, and I do appreciate the support. If you want news that you can sit back and think about how media is covering these type of cases, you probably want to come here. Okay, I see one of my guests over there right now. I love the bow tie, brother. I love the bow tie. Okay, I'm not gonna bring him up yet. Just give me a few more minutes. Tiffany, please make sure you share the Cash App and the social media stuff over here too. Tiffany, please post that. And be nice to the guests. They come on. They're working in a profession. So when they take the time out to come on the platform, be nice to them. And Tiffany, if anyone disrespects the guests, please put them in a timeout. Do not block them. Put them in a timeout. I don't know if I want to read the whole. I guess I'm gonna read the whole statement. I'm not gonna play the audio, but I'm going to talk about just the elements of what she said, and I want my guest is about to come on to look at it as well. I want my guest to pull it up as well. Okay, you guys are sending me so much. I appreciate it. Y'all are sending me so much. Like, wow. Okay. Appreciate it. And I just got a message that person is still engaging in indirectly. Okay, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it verbatim. This is from Tasha K's looks like Instagram page. No lies were told. Let me screenshot. This thing's moving fast. Go ahead, let me go here. No lies were told on anyone. I never admitted to lying about anything. No one threw anyone under the bus. Mostly everything reported was a lie from the inside. A lie from the inside. The court transcripts will be available to the public soon. Yes, they will. I forgot to add this into my speech. Well, it wasn't a speech, I don't think. I think it was a statement you were making. Or was it a speech? Mass as a statement. So just think about, and it was another one, and I think it was another one there as well. We're going to save that. I want to say this. The judge in this case is likely monitoring everything that the blogger lady is saying. Hold on. Let me read some of this here. I'm sorry, guys. I just turned my head. Let me read some of this here. I'm going to read a few of the super chat questions. I'm going to bring my guest on stage. Thank you. I say to myself, I appreciate the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you, E. Dazol. Okay. What's up, Terry K? Terry Key, what's going on? She confirmed she had the $3.8 million. No problem. She should have to pay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if she really has it. Thank you, Anita D. I appreciate that. If you have a question, add it to your super chat and I'll read it. Right now, I'm bringing my guest on stage, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gerald Griggs. G, turn your take.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? Bow tie look nice. I tell you, man. You try to make me look bad here.
Well, shout out to the bow tie. Just got back from court, so this is how I typically dress.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you questions, but I also understand that because of legal reasons, you can't speak on certain areas. So we're just going to kind of talk in generality based on the post, for example. Did you see the post that the Tasha K made regarding the no lies?
You mean the blogger lady? Yes,
the blogger lady.
Yes, to see her post. And my only concern is, with such a large verdict against her, you would think that her attorney would advise her not to make any extrajudicial statements at this point. So I don't know why she's continuing to make statements.
And that's important. That's very important. And you've handled some high profile cases as well. What do you say to a client, or how do you handle a client who has diarrhea in the mouth even after your instructions?
Sometimes your client can be their worst enemy, In this particular case, I do know, I understand the need to want to try to control the narrative, but when you're in the middle of a defamation lawsuit with intentional infliction of emotional distress and other claims that you lost, it might be serve you well to just be silent in the moment. Of course, you can thank your supporters and you can thank your lawyers and you can do all those things, but don't really talk about, the meat of the issue. And I think that's the problem that's happening here. I've been watching this play out on social media, watching your reporting, watching the blogger lady speak. And my concern is for her counsel and the fact that it appears she's not listening to her counsel. And it'll be wise that she would, because, this case is still going. I don't think the judge has a judge ruled on punitive damages yet.
Well, the punitive damages has been ruled on, but he has to go and rule on an injunction.
Okay.
Both lawyers have to submit motion for one has to submit motion for injunction, paperwork for injunction, and then the judge is going to rule, and they're going to have a hearing on it. So the judge is looking at this. The judge
Absolutely
is looking at this. He's not precluded from looking at the reporting. While that shouldn't sway him, but when you have a defendant who has actually lost, and he has to still decide on this, on one part of the one phase of this case, I don't think it makes sense. You have also heard or read some of the reporting about the testimony.
Yes.
How problematic will it be for the blogger lady to prevail in any? She made some claims that like First Amendment issues that wasn't raised in the case. It was never brought up in the case.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you didn't raise those defenses during the fact-finding portion of the trial or the argument portion of the trial, it's impossible to raise them on an appeal. So if she didn't, and again, I wasn't present in court to hear all the testimony. I am simply referring to the reporting that I've seen from multiple sources about what the testimony was. There may be grave concerns if you didn't raise that defense during the trial. It will not be available to you on appeal. And this particular type of case probably won't make it past the 11th Circuit. It definitely won't make it to the Supreme Court. So I don't really know how viable that argument will be. But again, I could be wrong. There are wiser lawyers than I. But I don't hear those lawyers speaking. I just hear the client speaking.
Right. And that's another thing. Wouldn't you, and I've covered several of your press conferences in many different cases in social justice issues. You don't allow your clients to speak until you feel it's prudent for their case, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, the purpose of the lawyer is to represent the interest of the client and to prevent them from getting in situations like this where their statements ultimately could be used against them and may be detrimental to their position. So when you're still in ongoing litigation, it's always smart to allow your lawyers to do the talking. And in this particular case, it appears that the client is continuing to talk and continuing to dig themselves a hole. The plaintiff in this matter is obviously still watching this, obviously still has ongoing litigation with this defendant. So it might be wise for the defendant to simply stop talking.
And going back to the statement she made on video yesterday, she said something that kind of stood out for me. It stood out not because it had any validity, but it stood out because she just received a judgment, but she's saying that what she said was the truth. How bizarre is that?
Well, 12 people determined as the fact finders that she was liable for defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress and false light. So, the appropriate response under the law is the jury has spoken and found you liable. So I don't really know how you can still say that you spoke the truth if a jury who heard all the evidence said it was defamatory, which means it was not true. So I don't know how you square those two. I do understand that, this is YouTube and people are doing things in social media, but, facts come out in a courtroom. And the fact is the jury has spoken.
I want to also say that A lot of times jurors don't like to talk after after a trial. I do have one juror that decided to talk to us,
Okay.
and I think that will put things in perspective. We're not going to bring the juror up today, just because they're working right now. But the fact that they can discuss what went on in that jury room, they're excused from the case, so they can discuss what went on in that jury room. Uh,
Absolutely.
we like to when we do our stories and do our investigations, we like to bring the people in that can give the firsthand account of how they felt or their story, not to regurgitate someone else's story, but more importantly, in this particular case, I think it's important for the world to see how those lies were told and how people, how they were received as well. So
Well, I
when
prefer to
she
use the word defamation because it gives that legal definition, and it's
absolutely,
already been proven in a court of law that it was defamatory. So I think that's the better way to put it. The defamation that was spewed all over the internet, and so it's going to be interesting to hear from the juror because they are the fact finder. They are the ones who can tell you what the testimony was, what the testimony wasn't, what they believe, what they did not believe. So it's even stronger than the transcript. The transcript can give you the words that were spoken. It can't give you the interpretation and the ultimate
absolutely.
decision. That juror can.
Absolutely. And I like to when I cover cases in the courtroom, I usually have the ability to bring a camera in. In this
Yes,
instance, you didn't it's not allowed in federal court, and I hopefully Judge Roberts will Supreme Court Judge Roberts may have a change of heart and allow it in the court. But right now it wasn't in the court, so we had to rely on the people who actually watched this, the onlookers that watched this. They saw like for myself, I saw how one juror was very upset listening to the video. And the video was powerful. The videos, because it was her words in a moment of time where it wasn't like it was coaching or anything. It's what she was telling her subscribers. She said it in no uncertain terms and do her deposition that she's not a journalist, but she tells her subscribers that she's a journalist. She's attacking the media. Was she attacking the media when she put herself out as a journalist? So you have to think about all of what she said. And then she mentioned that she was picked up by a lot of media outlets because of her coverage. Well, it's only one case that I recall that and I know you can't talk about this, but it was only one case that I recall that she had reported on that might come back and bite her. And if I'm a member of the media and I have clear evidence this person has a propensity to lie, I would never use it for a story. It's no different than putting on a witness for your case that has a history of lying. You don't do that as an attorney, correct?
absolutely. You don't put on an individual that has a credibility issue. And I've been watching her for a while because she has reported on a couple cases that I'm involved in. I don't want to go into detail on cases,
Absolutely.
but again, the facts come out in court. The facts came out in court in those cases. The facts will come out in court in this case. And I think the better judge would be what the facts were that the jury heard and that was testified to than an individual who's trying to spin something for their own personal edification. So my concern at this point is for YouTube and other platforms to continue to allow things to happen that are counterproductive to the truth-seeking effort that happens in that court.
You heard Cardi B's statement in my interview on TMZ. What did you think about what she had to say about the outcome of the case?
It was powerful to hear from Cardi B about how this influenced her, how it hurt her, how she'd been going through this for multiple years, and that she was happy that the jury found in her favor. And I can only imagine what you'd have to go through when your life is being put under a microscope and people are saying things that turn out to be defamatory, according to the jury. And so, I thought it was powerful to hear directly from her. It's not often that a superstar of her character allows you into their life. like that. It was very courageous for her to come forward. And I think this case is going to be a precedent in a lot of respects in how this new form of media is judged. You know, journalists have to be held to certain professional standards that was set under the New York Times versus Sullivan case. I think this case may set precedent for how these new journalists or bloggers or whatever they are have to ascribe to a certain level, a certain ethical level, or they will be held liable, which is what we've always said, you know, to any of our clients or anybody else's clients. If you're going to report on a massive medium such as the internet, you might want to get your facts straight, you know.
Absolutely.
So I think that's probably what the message is. And again, Cardi was very courageous for coming forward and pushing this. And I think that, you know, the jury found in her favor. So we have to respect the verdict of the jury.
Leaku.com had a question. Could Tasha K, and shout out to Leaku, you know, I really appreciate what she's done by bringing more awareness to cyberbullying, but she has a question. Could Tasha K face additional financial implications or criminal charges if she continues her attacks on Cardi B?
I think there's all sorts of legal liability from what I gleaned from the reporting of this incident. There may be concerns, some tax concerns. There may be other liability concerns, civil liability concerns. And there's always, you know, the potential for criminal exposure if it's proven that somebody perjured themselves, because all of this testimony was sworn. So if it turns out that people were not telling the truth on the stand, and that, you know, law enforcement wants to get involved, you know, a federal perjury charge is very difficult to get out from under.
You know, they've been prosecuting a lot of PPP fraud. And the way they have been successfully bringing these cases to the forefront is because of the submission of documents, the misrepresentation of information on their tax returns. It's been talk. She has never said she's going to file bankruptcy, but there's been talk and chatter that she may go that route. Do you think the federal court and the trustees will really, if she tries to go that route, scrutinize the paperwork that she submits or the schedules and so forth? Well, really scrutinize it because of a high-profile case like this?
Well, you know, my expertise is not in bankruptcy law, so I would leave that to other lawyers who have practiced that a majority of their career. But anytime you are involved in a case of this magnitude, a lot of eyes are on you, and everything you say will probably be vetted. So I think there should be some level of concern at this point, and that's why it's better to have your attorney speak on this matter than for you to speak on the matter, because you never know how far the federal government or even the state government will go in a high-profile case such as this one after their sworn testimony that you can use against an individual. So I think at this point, people need to realize this is not a game anymore. This is not for likes or clicks or hearts or whatever. This was about being able to prove a case in federal court. We're not talking state court. We're talking federal court. And there's now a judgment. So I think that if I was the lawyer for the defendant, I'd have a serious conversation about the level of liability here and the need to move forward and show some amount of contrition and change your behavior. Because again, from my understanding, there may be other individuals who may or may not seek civil action. So I just think, you know, just from an outside observer who's not actively involved in any of this litigation, there's a strong concern that it needs to cease.
Real quickly, guys, and I'm gonna have one more question for you. Then I'm sure you got you going back in Zoom conference with judges and so forth. I won't take too much of your time. The question I have for you is about courtroom tactics and closing arguments. You've delivered so many closing arguments, but tactics. During the penalty phase of this case, both lawyers had opportunity to, and I asked this of my guest, Mark Link. I don't know if you know Mark, but Mark's a well-known civil attorney in Georgia. Well, I asked, was this poorly a poor decision by the defense to not utilize the time allotted to lower the penalty for their client. They used 1.1 minutes and they were allotted 20 minutes. Do you think that was a pretty poor strategy to not utilize the time that was allotted?
Well, I think every lawyer has their own strategy. I don't want to critique another lawyer. I respect all members of this profession. But, you know, sometimes you have to realize the gravity of the moment. And when we're dealing with millions of dollars, you don't need to leave any amount of time on the table. If you have 20 minutes, use 20 minutes. If you have to read from the newspaper or make hand gestures or do something, you need to make sure you get the attention of that jury, because they're making a very important decision about your client's future and their financial status. So I think that, you know, this lawyer probably, you know, did the best of their ability, and that's all we ever can do. But in a case of this magnitude, you need to use all of the tactics and all the time that you have allotted to you to make the best case for your client.
Mr. Griggs, Gerald, thank you. I appreciate you coming on the platform, and let's do this again soon on another case. I have another case, a big case coming up. So
Well, anytime.
That case you can talk about.
I think at that point I will probably be able to talk about that case. But anytime you need me, I'm here on the platform. I'm still getting used to the new reality of other platforms. But, you know, anytime you need me, Dennis, I appreciate the journalism that you did on this case, and I'll keep up the good work.
Thank you, G. I appreciate you. Guys, did anyone have a question for Mr. Griggs? He's leaving. He's about to leave. Anyone have a question? If you have a question for him, I'll take one question. I know I don't want to take too much of his time. Let's see. Your questions should stick out. If you have a question from, or any one of my guests, leave a super chat so I can bring more and I can see the question, because there are a lot of questions. We have 2184 here right now. I need for you guys to do me a favor right now. Before he leaves, and if you support the platform, go ahead and like the video. Like it. It should be 2100, unless it's Winos there, and that way bring it down to maybe 1900 or 1800. But like it anyway. Support the channel, because engagement is important. I need engagement. We bringing guests in. We trying to step up our game. I need for that support, because every like inspires me to come back on this platform and talk to you guys. So if you have a question for Mr. Griggs, I'm going to read a question real quickly. Hold on. Did I see one? Gail at night. Thank you. That's not a question, but I appreciate the super chat. I'm not going to read that question. I'm not doing that. All right. All right, guys. Okay? What's it? Was he named after the Griggs in the famous civil rights case?
Which Griggs, the famous civil rights case? Which one?
I don't know. I don't know.
But probably not.
Probably, you would have known that. Listen, you're a lawyer. You would have
definitely come up, in my upbringing. So probably not.
Absolutely. Mr. Griggs, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming on the platform. And listen, we will talk soon.
Okay.
All right, guys. Trip C, I see you in the room. I see you in the room, Trip C. I do see you in the room, and you're on camera. We're gonna bring you up in a minute, Trip C. We're trying to keep the questions, down to, maybe conversation down to about 5 minutes, but I'm going to post the link one more time. If someone wants to join the conversation, you can come up, and I'll bring you up. And you must be on camera, no audio. I need to see your face. I want to be able to see your face and be able to, just have a record, because, they have trolls out here doing the most, and we want to see your face. I don't want a cartoon. I want to see your face. All right. So this is a lot of information to unpack, but luckily we can bring the legal minds in to discuss this. And I do appreciate those who have come on the platform to get the information. And while I didn't watch the video fully, I did get pretty much transcript of what the person said. And I just think that at this time, I don't think the attorneys are aware or approve that statement because or her media team or her PR team approved. I don't know who did that, but I just thought that uh, it it was poorly executed, and those words may come back to bite you one day. Um, no difference in that video of Lovely T that was played in the courtroom, and people that didn't come to the courtroom. The video correction, the audio recording that was done without Lovely T's knowledge was used in most of the case to show the type of person, not who Lovely T is, but more importantly, who Tasha K was, and it was powerful for the case. It was very powerful for the case, uh, and the jury saw that. So we're going to bring up right now Triple C. Triple C, you ready? Triple C. Okay, here we go. We'll bring you back on the stage. Here we go.
That's the Byron.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna do something I saw in the courtroom. Look into my eyes when I'm talking to you. Look into my eyes.
My camera is like I got a big rig in my. I got to get a camera stand, so it's like I'm looking this way, but I'm actually looking at your picture. So
Okay.
look at the camera, yeah.
Oh,
but
well, no, I love it. Listen, I love the. What kind of dog is that?
She's a pit.
Oh, pit bull. Oh, see,
Yeah, she just codependent.
Okay. Okay. So you had a question today. What was it?
Okay, so the Treasury Department was in. Let me start off. I'm an IT, so I look at this at a slightly different angle than legally. But how far do you think this is gonna have an impact for further litigation against her? Like, I know they probably aren't gonna go retroactively, but from this point forward, would they ramp the charges up?
Well, this case is the trial part is over with. Now, that doesn't say that others that feel that they have been wronged by her won't start legal action one way or the other. There's the statute of limitation to file cases, but I would say that if there's anyone in Georgia that have been, let's just say, under similar circumstances, you don't have to go to federal court. You can go to superior court, state superior court. The reason why it's in federal court is because of jurisdiction. She lived in Georgia and Cardi lived in New York. So that's how I got into federal court. Now, in this instance, and it's less expensive to file a case in superior court. So those who feel that they've been wrong, and while you might not get too much money because people are standing in line right now. They're standing in line, and this will be more of a moral victory, a moral vindication. If you're looking for the bag, you might not get the bag. So you may spend more than you'll receive.
And that's why most people don't proceed.
Right. That's one of the reasons. It's time consuming. Some people skin is thicker, and they can accept. Not accept. You don't have to accept anything from anybody if it's wronging you. Real quick, shout out to Janae Foyer. And she has a question. Do you think Tasha K has a legitimate case for the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not touching this case. They have cases that have reached. They have cases that, first of all, it's not a constitutional issue, but it's unless something the judge did happen, and I'm Judge William Ray. I'm just because you're a federal judge, she might try to lean on your coattail and say you did something wrong. But other than that, I don't see this thing going to. It will never. I won't say never, but it's highly unlikely that it will reach the Supreme Court of the United States. And that was a question from Janae Foyer. I want to just be respectful of the people that are coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was your question again? I'm sorry.
Okay, so you answered that part. do you think, in your opinion, that they would have enough to hit her with something like gang stalking?
I'm not an attorney, but I do know Georgia has a very they have laws on the books that um, if you're in the state of Georgia. Um, so there's so many variables. I there's so many variables there, and I would say that my experience in
You know,
dealing with uh, my not direct but covering like gang like activities. This is a new area for the most part. Cyberbullying, it happens on on the super internet, the super highway, and everything. But there's going to have to be laws, and I'm sure it's coming down the pipeline, change to address this, and it need to
there
be
are
state
laws in
laws.
place.
Right. In each state of the union, there should be laws in place to address cyberbullying. And I think Cardi B's case is going to be a pivotal turn in how people how these municipalities and jurisdictions deal with cyberbullying. Now, I think some of this was done because the person wanted to be famous, but now you have the infamous title, so you're really not famous. So yeah, guys, if you want to come in here and you want to talk, you can click on that link. Don't be scared. You have a lot of questions, but maybe your hair and makeup's not done, or you're sitting in your pajamas. Hey, this is okay. It's okay.
Like I said, from my
So
perspective, because I'm an IT, just on the outside looking in, because I've been around a while.
when you say IT, intellectual,
Information
what?
systems technician.
Okay, okay, all right, okay. So uh, that you being in that profession, how do you think that being in that profession impacts how you move and do business? Shout out to Gail at night.
I always make sure, because I went to school for cybersecurity. IT is a catch-all for a whole lot of stuff, but it mostly involves computers, internet, etc. But from what I know, before I ever step foot on here being a content creator, it's certain things that you don't say, it's certain things that you don't do, and it's certain things that you don't allow.
So you have
And
you have a YouTube channel. What's your YouTube channel?
Trip C's Treehouse.
Okay, Tripli C Treehouse. Okay, I'm going to pin something here. Actually, Tiffany, please pin that link. I want to pin the link there. I appreciate that comment. Tiffany, please pin the link to the invite. Let me know, Tiffany, need some help out there. Let me know. I'm gonna pin it one more time. I'm gonna send it up there one more time. I read some comments, and I don't respond to, I respond to some of the comments. I feel that it adds to
Mhm.
it adds to the show. Let me hide that. I'm trying to pin this myself, and well, it's not pinning. Guys, I apologize if I'm a bit challenged on this pinning, but we'll get it tight. Hi, Dennis. Please drop the link again. I'm dropping the link again right now. Watch the last comments. I'm dropping the link. I see you over there, to be Black Native. I see you
It'll
over there.
take a second or two, but it should go up to the top and glow yellow if it's pinned successfully. And you can
Right.
also slow your chat down in Content Creator, put it on slow mode. It
Okay.
puts a
Hold on.
delay on it so the chat doesn't go by as fast.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see you over there. I see you over there. Two B's out there. You have any other questions, Queen?
Is it true that the Treasury was in the house during the case?
Well, since I'm not a member of law enforcement, I wouldn't know if they were in there. I just know that during certain testimony, we had some suits that came in there that sat in the back and just watched. Uh, well, we'll know if the Treasury. Uh, we'll know. We may know sooner or later what they, if they saw anything that was prudent. But the fact that they didn't put up any financial documents. Um, that was interesting. That was very interesting. But again, that's their strategy. Trip C, I do appreciate you. Go ahead and follow Trip C's YouTube page. You can type it in the comment and they'll pin it up there. Okay.
Okay,
Trip C,
thank you. And thank you for having me on.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. And do you like what we're doing over here?
Yes, of course. I already shared it
Okay.
out.
All right. Much love. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Okay, we bringing up To Be Black Nation. What's going on? What's going on? How
Hello,
are you?
Mr. Dennis Byron. How you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm blessed, highly favored.
Hey. So you have any questions today?
I was just wondering, I'm not trying to be nosy about her money or whatever, but are they going to kind of put TK on like a payment plan or something? Or
I can't answer that because I don't know what the first of all, she's appealing the case. So she has she has an appeal process to go through. And if the appeal is not, it's they could say, well, we want to reduce some of the damages. She has 1 million in punitive damages personally, and the business has 500,000. They agree to I believe I read during one of the court filings that the $1.3 million that is owed to the attorneys, it appears that they agree to that. Agree to it, or they acknowledge that they acknowledge that is the attorney's fees based on all the time the attorneys for Cardi B worked on the case. So as far as what's in, how she figured to make the payment, what route she's going to take, that's down the road. It's not going to be something. If you're looking for a microwave fix to this, I don't see that happening right now. The fact that person is still posting on social media and making speeches or statements or a statement, it's I don't know what's really up with the person, but I don't see this going away anytime soon.
the machine, is that YouTube? Is the machine YouTube?
The machine could be YouTube. I could be the machine. I don't know. I don't know what is she alluding to? She suggested payola. Well,
That girl had no shame. No shame.
I would go on the record now and say that Cardi B did not pay me to cover her trial. She did not pay me to cover her trial. That's important. She did not pay me to cover this trial.
Okay, thanks for clarifying that, because God, I was like, oh my goodness, because there's another celebrity, for a fact, there's receipts that show he paid people to throw his wife in jail. He paid people to just do horrible things, put her in a mental institution and everything. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, but money can buy a lot.
Well, something, if you have, and I said this on another video, that the having money will help you get justice. The lack thereof will get you what you got in this case. I mean, you don't go to a gunfight with a knife. It just makes no sense. You don't go to a gunfight with a knife. And if you are trying to win against this megastar, it would have made sense for you to bring someone in, at least that had practiced this area of law. Like, I don't know. I'm leaning towards thinking that they really didn't get paid for this, and it was probably for the fame.
Pro bono.
Right. Okay. Anyway, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you supporting the platform, and we'll be doing this again soon.
You're my new guilty pleasure, Mr. Byron.
Hey, appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so Madman X. I don't bring anyone on the stage that doesn't have video, so you might want to. Yeah, you about to get done. You wasn't coming up on here with no no icon. But before I bring you on, I did see. Did you jump out? I see BDHU 2001. What's good?
Hey,
Hey, what's happening?
okay. I've been watching you since I think you came on The Lead Attorney. And that's when I discovered that you were doing everything in the back. And I think I heard about you for some other places too. But this is my first experience with you. First experience online too. So sorry about that.
It's all
Anyway,
right. It's a learning curve for both of us.
there you go. There's a few things that I kind of thought about while the trial was going on. First of all, that the reason Tasha was expecting to not have to deal with it is because it's such a high bar for public figures to be able to claim libel. And so
That's
she automatically thought, well, it's such a high bar, I can say anything I want. The other thing is her attorneys did their job. Okay. They did the countersuit as a tactic so that Cardi B and them would settle. And Cardi B and them was willing to settle. Tasha wasn't willing to settle. So they never expected it to go that far because they thought if they could get Cardi B to settle, Tasha K would not have to worry about it and we'd be done. But Tasha K saw that $3 million as if she could really have that money. So she wasn't willing to settle. And then once the counterclaim was thrown out, they no longer had any leverage. And now you're stuck.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. And I will just say that during the testimony, and they played one of Tasha K's videos. In the video, she said that the only way she's going to take the videos down if Cardi B paid her. That was damning. That video was damning to her case. So when you say that, you just basically told the jury that you were trying to extort her, and you also said in that same video that even if she paid you, you would find a way to.
You would keep it.
Well, she said in her words, she said, "I'll find a way to make residual off of those videos." And I'm thinking now, based on receiving some receipts, that she might think about putting it on a back channel. She might think about putting it on an app. But I would say this right now: if anyone is on her platform, on an app, and they see anything pertaining to a Cardi B that has already been adjudicated in the court in favor of Cardi B, send the screenshots, send it to the attorneys. So if you see anything, listen, you can send an email to tips@hiphopinquirer.com. Just your name will be not part of the story. Just provide the receipts and we'll vet it and make sure it is authentic, and then we'll do what we need to do with it.
I think there's another thing that people kind of are like not paying attention to when Tasha K keeps calling Cardi B the P word, right? And that she's a lady of the night, basically. I think that Tasha K was trying to be Cardi B's pimp. Cardi B was her moneymaker, and she wasn't willing to let it go. And she wanted Cardi B, and she said this: you were famous, you were supposed to just shut up. That's exactly how that kind of person that handles people behaves. And she thought she should be able to make money off of Cardi B, and Cardi B should be like a lady of the night and not speak up. And that's how she treated her.
She missed the opportunity when she had opportunity to take the videos down. She miscalculated Cardi B and her determination. And Cardi B is she wasn't just doing it for herself. She was doing it for all the people that are being cyberbullied on the internet. And you got to understand, this is a woman, Cardi, at the time she was going through this, she was 20-something years old, a young mother.
Yes.
And you have this woman that's 10 years her senior attacking her. So, I mean, just with that, knowing that she's a new mother and you're attacking this woman that just had a baby and not even considering what she's going through, and you did it for sport. You did it because and it's something else that came out during this trial. She thought the fact that saying Cardi B had a incurable disease was funny. Now, what type of human being, grown human being, would say that about someone else?
No, so she was just despicable. She was just despicable. I couldn't believe this kind of stuff. I could not believe it when I was hearing this.
Right, the jury heard this as well. So she, in challenging her First Amendment right of not being respected. Well, her First Amendment right was exercised in her videos, that was played to the jury, and it was played. She wanted to say that the jury heard it, so she did. Her First Amendment rights weren't violated. As a matter of fact, the reason why she's in court now, or had the ability to be in court, and so people can see the videos, is because of her First Amendment right. She was the case. It wasn't just about Cardi B. It was about her telling her story why she felt she did this.
Well,
and
none
it
of
fell
our
flat with
rights
the
are
jury.
unlimited. None of our rights are unlimited. When you infringe upon others, your rights end, you know? So, you know, like we have freedom, but that doesn't mean we also have the freedom to kill people, you know?
Absolutely.
So, there you go.
Absolutely. And I think more people should pay attention to the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, and study it. I mean, if these laws are governing your life, you should have some understanding of it at some point in your life, because it may affect you or one of your family members. So, you know, and I say I love lawyers and everything, but I also love to read for myself, because I know that certain laws on those books that could affect me directly. And that's why I want to make sure that, you know, that if I'm a venture in an area, I want to make sure that area I venture in, I have armor to be able to deal with it once I'm in that area. But I do appreciate you coming on. You know, appreciate you supporting the channel. So how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good. You know, I'm a woman in my 60s. So watching these people and the kind of stuff that's going on now is just like stunning. I just would never think that somebody could treat somebody like that just for kicks and giggles and to make a little bit of money. And
How about
especially
that?
after she
Well, she
asked
made
you
a
to
lot of
stop.
money. Right. She made a lot of money. Let's not
Well,
make a
but
mistake there.
still, you know, I've worked hard all my life. So it's like,
Right.
it is not worth hurting somebody else to make money. It is not
Absolutely.
worth that. That's damning your soul. No, it's not worth it.
You know, it's interesting when I can get someone to come on close to my age to, you know, our generation, it's so different than this new generation and the way they do it. I'm not using a brush when I say that, but the way people deal with stuff now is just, we had resolution issue, how we solved it. And a lot of times you wouldn't even, like, even with, you know, the amount of profanities used now versus what it was used 25, 30 years ago. It's just real interesting. Now you can do it on the internet, you can do it on social media, you can just say anything you want. You know, we learned that from the person who just left the White House. Say anything he wants, even in the person's in the White House as well right now. So I don't know, but I appreciate you coming on the platform. Please, you know, are you a YouTuber, or are you just someone that enjoys?
Well, I'm trying to become a YouTuber and have something called Noni Talk, because that's what my grandkids call me. So, you know,
Okay.
kind of giving advice. You know, I'm retired. I retired in my 50s, actually, you know, because I set aside money and did some things that are just logical to me. But the people I worked with, it wasn't logical to them. So maybe it's advice that would help other people to be able to retire in their early 50s. So
Absolutely. Well, good luck in whatever you choose to do. And again, I say do it with integrity. And, you know,
absolutely.
obviously, I don't have to tell you about researching and everything. You're going to do what you have to do to make your brand successful. Again, I appreciate you coming on, and tell a friend to come watch the show.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, guys. Before I bring anyone else on, I'm going to read a few comments. Let's go ahead. Okay, okay, Black Native. I see that explains why she did not hire BW. I don't know what BW is, but maybe you can explain. We do not work for free, right? Oh, Black woman. Okay, Black one. Okay, all right. No, I just figured that we don't work for free. Right. Something and I'm not calling anyone out in particular here, but I mean, you can attack the lawyers for the way they handle the case. You know, I ain't saying physically attack them, or just you can have opinions on the lawyers the way they handle the case, but don't shame the lawyers, you know, for their appearances and all that, because it takes away from the messaging. You know, let's be respectful, because you know, you're shaming lawyers and they're trying to do their job. You know, it makes it difficult. And they're looking at, and they're people too. You know, lawyers are people too, and they too can feel a certain way. So let's not try to shame the lawyers more so than to talk about the way they handled the case. You know, because you know, at the end of the day, they got to go on from this case. You know, they chose the case. This may end their career. You know, maybe people won't. You know, this is a big loss. This is a huge, a monumental loss for an attorney. The fact that you even went, you know, it's in federal court, knowing your client, it's unfortunate that you know now you have to lay down on the sword, you know, because you went out there and you did this, you know, and again, it'll come out maybe not right now. They may decide to talk, and I think they only, you know, to a certain degree, they can talk on this case depending upon what the judge rules. Okay. And again, you know, my style is different than someone else's style. So, but I would just say, let's just be respectful of humans, because this case is about cyberbullying, defamation. But I'm coining it cyberbullying because it is cyberbullying, and let's not engage in the same things that we're trying to fight against. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm bringing up someone else right now. I don't know, was Madman next, or was it Refuse to Lose? I don't know. Okay, I see. I'm getting away from Refuse to Lose, and Madman X ain't saying nothing. So I'm gonna bring up Refuse to Lose. What's going on, Refuse to Lose? What's going on? What's going on, Refuse to Lose? You refuse to lose. Hold on. Let me bring you up here. Let me bring. Oh, they won't let me. Oh, he left too. He just left. Well, come on, Refuse to Lose. What's up? What's up?
Hi,
Talk
how
to
are
me.
you?
How you doing? How you doing?
First, I want to say all of you guys did a great job. You know, I realized that everybody did the best they could in covering the story, and so we do appreciate that. Those that weren't able to go out, you know, live in different states and things like that. And I'm gonna speak out as a mother, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Tasha was wrong. Tasha knows she was wrong. Um, Again, it's sad that our children have to suffer for the mistakes that we made as parents. Do I believe that her children should be forced back into possible poverty? I don't agree. I just don't. I just don't. I don't think that the children should suffer because she made a mistake. I don't know how. You know, I'm praying someone hears this, praying maybe even soften Cardi's heart to maybe try to convince them to go low. I don't know. But
I think, and I feel you, because I'm a parent, and I obviously, the kids should never have to pay for the mistakes of their parents. And I would say this: in her circle, she has people around her, and if she has people that are just going to be yes man, and just go along just to get along with her, they're doing more damage to her. There should have been someone in her inner circle that told her, listen, what
I
you're doing,
agree.
it make up, and and that's the thing, if you have someone like in your a parent that goes out and do stick ups or do something that will jeopardize their freedom, you know, so many people in prison because of the bad decision by their parents. Now, some of it is probably, it could be due to the way they were raised, but when you have multiple opportunities, you get 3 cease and desist, you make mockery of the process. Are you really thinking about your kids? And it was a part, and I'm gonna say this: during the trial, there was a video play where her child was in the background and she was cussing, and the jury saw this. I mean, at some point, you have to take accountability and stop deflecting. And I would say this: Cardi is a very decent person. She's a decent human being. And hold on a second, guys. Hold on 1 second. You guys don't want my battery to die on me. I didn't have my laptop plugged up. But hold on 1 second. All right, we'd be talking in the dark room. Oh, well, so hold on. Okay, hold on. All right. Oh yeah, we good now. We good. So she had an opportunity at different stages of this process over the last 3, close to 4 years. And I think that she, while we both are parents, she should have thought about that. Or maybe she wanted to try to, once the countersuit was done,
Right.
she could have reached out to Cardi's legal team and said, I apologize. I'm going to release an official statement. I'm going to remove the videos. I'm not going to say your name anymore. I'm here now. I'm at this point. I have a platform. How much will it take for this to go away? It's different things that could have happened, but she, again, the last guest said, it was more about her perhaps thinking she could win the $3 million. Maybe that, or she thought she had a leg to stand on. She also said, and she was right. The bar is high when trying to prove defamation when it involves a public figure, especially someone like Cardi B, and especially in Georgia. But apparently, Cardi reached the bar and went over the bar and proven her case. And that's what people have to understand. Don't pay too much attention to what's said outside the courtroom. It was what was said in the courtroom is what we have to look at. And not, just like myself, the lead attorney, Brittany Dobbins, Choke No Joke, infamous Sylvia, and I would say Tisha Tells to a certain degree, because she was getting her.
Yeah, so
but what I'm saying is the reporting has been consistent. It hasn't been anyone that has been able to refute my reporting or in Law 360s for that matter, because there's really only maybe two reporters, maybe 3 reporters in the courtroom, actual reporter, journalists. So if she felt that she was getting a bad being treated unfairly in the media, she has a media company. You could have had someone report in as well from your perspective. But when you have all these evidences coming out in front of the world, in front of these jurors, the videos, it's hard to tell a story that doesn't lean in your direction. And I think that's where the problem is. She hasn't really grasped that most of this is to her doing, and a husband to a certain degree as well, So you gotta, and I do say that if she is bankrupt, it's to her doing. If you go to a job, you apply for a job, and you submit your resume, and they review your resume, and they say, okay, we're going to bring you in and give you a try. But then they realize that you're not qualified for that job. They will either, put you in they most times they will probably let you go. This was her job, and she wasn't able to successfully prove that she could handle this job. And then the jury spoke in volumes. They decided that, what you did on your job was reckless. It was defamatory. It was and all these other liable things that you did. You didn't do your job right. And in this society, we have to set the standard high enough so people won't get hurt. And that's all, And if our kids are affected by this, I am sorry that happened. But you got to look to the parents. And when the parents doesn't take control over what they're doing around their kids and putting their kids in harm's way, these things happen.
Right.
It happened. You have to accept the fact that she could have protected her kids much better by not doing this reckless stuff. Can I at least get an agreement there?
No, I agree with you. I do agree. I agree. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like that was kind of high, even though we can't even put a price on what was done. We can't keep it. We can't. I'm not saying that. I just
you can't put a price on it.
Can't.
And
put
Cardi,
right.
You got to remember, Cardi went through a lot of stuff dealing with this woman. She contemplated suicide. So what would have happened if Cardi decided to take her life? And she decided there would be, her kids would have suffered, her husband would have suffered, her father, her mother, her sister, whole family. So there's two sides to it. We got to look at both sides of the coin. If you ignore one side of the coin, then you're not being honest with yourself. So when this happened, even let me just say this, even with the reduction of the medical, the jury said we want Cardi B to get $250,000. We want her to have $250,000 for medical. Well, the judge said, well, the medical was too high. And then you guys need to go back and try to decide on a number that's fair. So Cardi said, okay, it's 25,000. So that's another 225,000 that went off the, that was taken away. So that even shows how decent Cardi is. And then look at this, right? Just think about the stuff that she does for the community. You got to look at the totality of the person and what they have given back to the community. I mean, there are 17 to 19 families that don't have to worry about burying their loved ones because Cardi stepped up and stepped in and used her resources to help these families in the most awful time they have to go through in their lives. But you want to constantly attack the person online for your own financial benefit. You're not saying, I'm attacking this woman and I'm giving all the money. You're not taking a Robin Hood approach. You're taking I'm robbing in the hood approach. So, at the end of the day, you have to look at what people are doing and how they're using their platform.
Right. I get it. No, as I said, I was, more on the mother side, and again, after coming out of poverty myself, and just not even imagining have to going back to a certain lifestyle. I just wanted to voice my opinion on that. That's all.
Well, I came out of poverty. I grew up in the South Bronx. I grew up in one of the roughest areas in the South Bronx, and having to go to school every morning, walking through the hood from my project. I grew up in the South in the projects. I left my projects
from Brooklyn.
Yeah, so I had to get up every morning and walk in the hood that we didn't get along with to get to the school.
Yeah,
and just imagine that. So if you had to walk through a hood that you didn't get along, not my hood, but I had to go in another neighborhood to get to my school, and they were bullies. And guess what? I didn't play it. I knew how to deal with the bullies, but they were picking on the people that they thought they were weak. So you got to think about, where you come from, and think as a motivation, not go back to hood, do the right thing. Just do the right thing. This is all. This is her doing. This is not Cardi's doing. This is what Cardi said. This is not me. I didn't put a beer bottle in my vagina. I never prostituted.
Wow.
I never prostituted. You accuse me of all these crimes that you didn't have any proof.
Yeah.
For profit. It was for profit. And people have to understand this. This was the most humiliating, vile things to say about a person. And you admit it, you're doing by profit. So when you're boasting, I got the money and everything, and I came up and everything, I got a million subscribers. But how did you get 1 million subscribers? By lying on another human being. Just think about that. You build your platform by lying on another human being. And that human being was contemplating suicide, and you had no remorse on your actions. I do appreciate you coming on, and please support the channel, share it. Guys, if you can hit the like button, please hit the like button. And if I get a little emotional, it's because I have daughters as well. And if you come after my kids, I'm coming after you with everything I have in my body. So it goes down like that. And trust me, you think you can't get found, but trust me, you got found. You'll get found. And that's all. So let's be nice here. Let's be nice. Let's be nice and do people right. I appreciate you. Refuse to lose BTS. What's that? Behind the scenes? What the BTS stand for?
Behind the scenes.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Thank you. Please support the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Guys, sometimes, I know she was very emotional. I get it. I get it. Because if you're not protecting the kids, who else is going to protect your kids? So I get it, but again, it's two sides of the coin. You have to protect your kids before someone else can protect your kids. She's, someone says, why is she crying? Because she's a parent. But I had to put that everything in perspective. Of course, no one wants to see wants to see anyone harmed, but at the end of the day, it's the person who's doing the harm that has to consider what the ramification is. She might be a wino. I don't, not wino, but a supporter of Tasha K's. But you trying to tell the world that what the judgment was and the decision was a conspiracy is just ridiculous and asinine and just stupid when it could be refuted by all the intellects that were in the room. So to say it is conspiracy is just ridiculous. And shame on you for saying that and making a mockery of the process. Shame on you for saying that and to make a mockery of the process. If you continue the path of bullying, cyberbullying or bullying or whatever you think you're doing to garner these subscribers, it's going to backfire. And it's backfired already. And to continue doing it, there are other things that come down the pipeline. So if you care about your children, your husband, your livelihood, fall back. Take inventory. And stop with people. All right, I'm just going through the super chats real quick. I see people on the platform. China, I see you. Shanae, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And B Sparrow, what's going on? I see you. B, I'm gonna get you in 1 second. I'm gonna bring you're gonna pronounce your name. I don't want to jack your name up because that could be bad. But I'm gonna bring you up real quick. Here we go. What's going on? What's going on? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Love that smile.
Okay.
Love that smile. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
My name is it's my middle name is Shinoa.
Shinoa.
Yeah,
okay, that's an A. Okay, that's an A. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
How's everything Indian?
Going? Huh?
I'm good. Are you half Indian?
No, I don't got no Indian in my family.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm looking at
That's okay.
So how can I help you today?
Well, I just wanted to just quickly discuss just like a couple of quick things. First, I thank you for accepting me onto your live stream. I really appreciate it. I want to apologize for my appearance. I look a hot mess.
Hey, listen.
But I said I'll throw on a scarf, which is hiding a multitude of sin right now. So I'll just throw that on. And I saw that the attire was ultra casual with everyone else. So I figured, okay, what the heck? I'll just come up. You know what I mean? So,
I'm sitting here with a shirt on. I might even have pants on. I'm just joking. I got pants
on. Oh, you don't? Okay, cool.
Is it Friday?
It's
Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday.
You just said that, and I'm looking at I'm saying, wait, because I got to get my garbage cans out.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, not Friday.
Okay.
I missed it last week, but I didn't miss it, so that's funny. So how can I help you today?
Well, just wanted to discuss a couple of things. First of all, with the lady who was on right before me, I completely understand how emotional she was about this situation. I really, really do. You know what I mean? A lot of people become emotionally attached to people like Tasha K. You're there, she's in your living room a couple of times a week, or whenever she has her show. You admire her. She says things that resonate with you and things like that. And over the years, you do become attached to that person. So I completely understand how she is feeling right now. I really, really do. And I don't fault her or anybody else right now who's, feeling emotional about the situation. However, I do think that Tasha K in this situation is completely wrong. Okay, she's completely wrong. It's been established that, she lied, fabricated things, etc. One of the things I take you know, one of the things I take issue with is how she treated her fans last night with what she was saying. You understand? And I think that's a big part of the reason why going forward, she's not going to be successful. You know, if she would have just, you know, she didn't even have to give a full-throated apology. How about just saying something like, you know, I was super passionate about what I did, and maybe I took it a step too far. I shouldn't have, and just kept it moving. Instead, she tried to play the Trump card, and it's the machine, it's everybody else but me. You understand what I'm saying? And the reason why that's not going to work with her is, number one, I mean, clearly she's not Trump. She doesn't have the reach that Donald Trump has. She doesn't have the resources that Donald Trump has. And she doesn't have the skin color that Donald Trump has, quite frankly. Okay, so you can try to deny and deny and deny. You know, people who really follow her are going to just really be like, stop playing in my face. Okay.
Right.
So
And I still haven't, and I think, you know, you made a valid point just now.
mm-hmm.
People, you know, it's almost like a DJ mixing records.
Mm-hmm.
You can mix records, and you know it's all mixed. You can make good music with bad music, but you're still mixing it.
Yes.
And I think the fact that she's able to ascend to that level with those many followers,
yes,
she's doing.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say she's doing something right. It's because if you look at the foundation of how she got to that point, you always have to think about that. You know, if you're lying, and this is a question for everyone out there. Do you think the lie she told about Cardi B is isolated to Cardi B, or you feel that the stories that she's done in the past were also laced with lies? You have to think about the foundation of how she got to this point.
Yes.
And again, a jury. I've been doing media for 30 plus years. I've never seen a jury verdict come back this quick on the trial with this much
2
information.
hours, something like that, right?
It's astonishing.
Crazy.
But the jury said we heard enough. We don't want this woman to be able to poison more people.
Yeah.
And with this campaign she had against Cardi B, we must stop her now. And they've spoken. And guess what? If she ignores the jury and this, well, she can't take too many more hits like this.
Right.
You know, and I think that if I was her part of her media team, and while I'm not trying to give her any free advice, but you could have simply got on there for the sake of your family and show some humility towards what you've done, and just apologize to her and not make a mockery of a process that other people will be using in the future.
Absolutely.
You have to think about that.
And I mean, this might be, well, this is clearly anecdotal, right? But I can't tell you how many times I've seen people who were clearly fans of hers say things to the effect of, you know, just accept that you did wrong and move on. You understand what I'm saying? When people really care about you, they will let you take an L. They will let you take an L when they truly love you. These are people probably who have donated to her channel, or you know, on her Patreon or whatever, bought the olive green thing or whatever that she has on her thing. When, you know, when people really love you and care about you and admire you, okay, they're going to, you know, be like, okay, well, you did a little mistake or whatever, you know, let's move past it. And let's go forward.
It wasn't a little mistake. Let's not make light of it. It's not a little mistake.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you know, people who really like her like that will just be like, okay, you know what? Let's just you know, throw that in the archives. Let's move forward. And by her doubling down, it's extremely insulting to everybody,
subscribers,
especially the winos and the people who really have been riding with her since day one. And you can see it because if you look at her page right now, it's not 1 million subscribers anymore. It's 999,000, which is still a respectable amount of subscribers. It's still a substantial amount of subscribers, but clearly people have checked out. Okay, people have checked out. And again, I believe that if she would have been a little bit more contrite with her explanation yesterday, or her quote unquote statement or whatever, okay, I don't think that people would have been leaving en masse the way they are. You understand? I mean, that's just the way.
Absolutely. You have one you have one chance to make a first impression, and your first impression yesterday to release the statement, and you missed an opportunity. When you have a caption audience like that, this is why I say that look at the people around you. I would have never put a statement like that out if I was trying to save my brand and be able to afford to pay for the damages that I'm gonna have to pay for. You can't discharge punitive damages. So the psychological approach to this would have been to show remorse, apologize. You lost. The jury said you lost. The jury said you lost this fight. So with that said, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I shouldn't keep trying to interrupt you. You can finish what you're saying. I'm sorry.
I just lost train of thought because it was too many of those.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. No, but really quickly, I just think that we have to take into consideration the level of narcissism that comes with someone like her. Okay. You know, I wouldn't, you don't really expect someone like her to not come out fighting, right? So if you were speaking with someone who, you know, wasn't narcissistic, and you said, how many times do you think her lawyers told her, stay off social media when it came down to such and such? Don't talk about something. Are you kidding me? Did you really get on there and say that you were going to wipe your A with this cease and desist? You think her lawyers didn't say these things to her? So now, what do you think? I'm pretty sure someone has said something to her, although I do believe that she probably surrounds herself with sycophants the way a lot of narcissists do. Don't get me wrong. But she still has legal counsel, legal representation. I'm pretty sure they've probably said something to her, you know, like, look, apologize or whatever and move on. I'm sure they've said something like this to her. You know what I mean?
If they're worth their, you know, if they're worth their if they're worth anything as an attorneys, they should have said something to her. And I'm sure they did. And I think that because of arrogance, because of determination, and to spew these awful things about Cardi B, because she was able to monetize the drama. If you monetize the drama, knowing that there were lies, as she said on her testimony, I knew there were lies, and so what? You know, I you know, I'm making money for it. You know, I don't. It's to a certain degree. You know where the most victims are? Her subscribers. They're actually victims. You know why they're victims? Because they believe the BS. They believe the BS, and they too are victims because they thought this person who said on her platform that she was a journalist, but then said on a deposition that she wasn't. I mean, she sold them a bunch of BS.
Absolutely.
And I'm surprised that numbers are not dropping further just with the fact of everything that came out in the court. So do you have any
when those
compassion?
transcripts come out, those numbers are going to drop even worse.
Absolutely. Well, it should, you know, something, the verdict should have been enough, you know, because forget the media for a second, because they were instructed by the judge not to look at any press. So stop blaming the media for them reporting on what they saw. The jury was instructed not to look at any media. So you can't rest your argument on the media. Take responsibility and move forward. If our own subscribers had told, you know, Tasha's case believes she's smarter than everybody else. That's what it is. You're smarter than everyone else. People have been around longer than you, but you built your foundation on lies. And if people don't have the ability to discern a lie from the truth, or if they don't have the experience in investigating stuff, they believe it. You know, like you want to trust, if you're getting your news from somebody, they're telling you the truth, because you know, I mean, this is why fake news has been so prevalent in this whole society in the last couple of years. It's because of people like her telling stories and admitting. She'll say one thing here and she go into the court and say something else. Like, come on now. And if this was televised, I guarantee you. I guarantee if you see what I saw, what many people saw on stand. Listen,
I'm positive that her demeanor on the stand was nothing like her demeanor when she's talking to her winos and stuff like that. Okay.
No, I tell people the Tasha K you see on these videos is not the Tasha K that showed up in court. You know, so, and I think that she feels that she's going to get more fame because she fought Cardi B. No,
it's gonna
that
backfire.
logic is just ridiculous. And if people are over there watching that over there and they want that in their psyche, that's it. You know, she can change, but I don't think she will. You know,
I've seen people saying that this is a win for her. It's not a win for her. It's going to backfire for the reasons that I, mentioned earlier. This type of, angle is not sustainable going forward. It's just not sustainable long term. Appealing this case, which is going to actually take more, financial resources out of her pocket that I don't think she has right now. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a saying when you've done something that you weren't supposed to do and you double down, and you're wrong and strong. Right now, she's wrong and strong.
Wrong and strong. I like
that.
Okay,
she's wrong and strong.
Tiffany,
I mean, that's
post pin that, Tiffany. She's wrong and she's wrong and she's
wrong
strong.
And strong. Yes.
Tiffany, go ahead and put that pin that right there. Type that and pin that. She's wrong and she's strong.
Yes. Wrong and strong.
Right.
She's
wrong and strong.
Just one more thing before I leave. I just wanted to say that as a Black woman, watching someone like her, I admired her for a long time. Did I agree with everything she said? No, clearly, right? I didn't agree with a lot of the things that she said, but I always admire someone who, came from meager beginnings, right? And, did what they had to do to make themselves more successful and, eventually have a platform and they're able to make a name for themselves, even though, it's by questionable means at times. I still had a level of admiration for her as a Black woman. I really did. I mean, I'm not even going to front. Okay. And I can see why she has so many fans and stuff like that. I really, really can. But it's a big part of the reason why this letdown is so disappointing. And again, going forward, she's not going to be able to just, do the Jedi mind trick on her followers and everybody and think that it's going to be okay. It's just not going to work. It's not. So
let me ask you, because it sounds like you a supporter of you were a supporter of hers, or you might still be. But let me ask you a question.
I'm not anymore. Definitely not anymore. But I was in the past. I did used to, watch her show. I wasn't like a stan or anything like that.
Okay.
But I watched her show. You know what I mean? I watched her show.
Well, let me ask you a question. Even the time that you did support her, what was it about her that you felt that was empowering to womanhood, to the community? She comes across.
No. I don't feel as though the things that she used to say were empowering or anything like that. I admired how she was able to become successful with what she was doing. And I am fully aware that the means by which she was able to become successful were questionable at best. Okay. So let's just be clear about that. Okay. Again, like I said, throughout the years, I did not agree with a lot of things that she said. I did not. I watched the show. Okay. And I was entertained by the show, but I wasn't a stan or anything like that by any means.
It was entertaining. So
it was entertaining.
She's successful. She was very entertaining.
Yes,
she was entertaining, and I would say that she was entertaining.
Yes.
But if you look at the show from a fictional standpoint, then it would be more acceptable. But when you tell people, you just come out and say this is a fictional show, this is about entertainment. Don't take it to heart.
Yeah, no, go on.
Then your subscribers will understand what they're getting. But if you're telling people the things you're saying is fact, 98% of and this came out testimony, 98% of the things you said on your platform was fact, but then you turn around and says on another video, it's not true, then that's a problem. You were saying,
look at the impact that's going to have on some of the criminal cases that she's quote unquote reported on.
And I want to talk about that. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I thank
Mhm.
you, Shinoa, for coming on the platform. I do appreciate you. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much for
everyone's
having me. I
support.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I want you guys to like, at 2,163 watchers. Go ahead and like. You have a question that stands out, I'm going to read it. If it's on a super chat, I'm going to read it. And if I see something that stands out, I will, pick it up. But I appreciate you once again, Queen.
Thank you.
Be careful where you get your entertainment from. Netflix has some great
Absolutely.
movies, and I will tell you, I worked on 2 movies: True to the Game 2,
Yeah.
Dutch. Actually, 3: True to the Game 2, True to the Game 3, and Dutch. That was produced by my brother Manny Haley, starring Columbus Short, Vivica Fox, a whole cast: Jeremy
True to the
Meeks,
Game.
Prison Bay. True to
Okay.
the Game 3. Go ahead, Google it, guys.
Okay.
Go
I'm
Google
gonna
True to the
write
Game.
that down, and I'll definitely check that out after the broadcast.
Absolutely. So check out the movies on Netflix. Actually, as a matter of fact, get your
Okay.
entertainment. If you want,
Yes.
entertainment, go to get some entertainment. It's entertaining, and I guarantee none of these actors in those movies are saying what they're doing is actually fact. I
Yes.
appreciate you, and
Thank you.
just turn on your notifications. Listen, guys, if you're watching this right now, turn on your notifications right now. Make sure you follow. Make sure you're subscribing. Talk to you later, Chanel. So she did make up. She had some valid points. I always want to know why people, follow certain channels, even though they know that the things they're saying is just sometimes it's reckless. It borders on cyberbullying, and I think sometimes people do that, and not in this queen's case, but they do that because it takes them away from the things that they're actually personally dealing with. And if you're able to make you can enjoy the misery of someone else's what they're going through, then it makes your life feel much better. And it's just I don't know, just kind of crazy for me. But I'm just reading a few of these questions here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Give me a second here. Let's see what we got going on. All right, guys. So we got 20. Okay, we got 2087. The light should be parallel. It should be parallel. We bring some good content, and we have some good guests coming on. We have some. I can't say just yet, but we have a powerful guest coming on, and I think when we put this out there, who that guest is, you're going to understand why this case it was so important. Okay. I'm going to someone sees me in the live, but I'm going to put that on hold. All right, guys. So she talked about the cases. I don't know how many cases that she reported on that might have an effect on perhaps the court decision. Why this case is this stream is not about R. Kelly, but she talked a lot about R. Kelly. Her attorney referenced R. Kelly in his opening, and I don't know why that was done. I think that, again, that was another mishap on the defense's case, but she did a lot of talking about R. Kelly. She put a lot of people on her platform, and I'm going to say that based on what happened with her co-defendant, Star Marie Jones, and knowing that she fabricated the things she told Tasha K, I would question some of the people that went on Tasha K's platform and told their story. I'm going to question it. I think that it was probably very irresponsible for her to put certain people on their platform that she may have knew that they were not telling the truth, because she testified in her own defamation case. I said defamation because she said defamation in her post. I know I was doing that. These people that she had on her platform were likely not telling the truth. So that poses a problem. And I would just say that you have to now look at the stories that you reported on. And again, I don't know, I know a few stories that she reported on, Wendy Williams, just because I know Wendy and I know Kelvin, and I met Wendy years ago. I did an event in New York City at the Jacob Javits Center. It was a very big event, and she was my host for that event. And anyone know about the Jacob Javits Center in New York? That's a very big venue for events. So that's when I met her. At the time, she was popping on the radio, and I thought that she would be good for the business, the event. And then obviously I met Kelvin because when the first time I met him, the first thing he says, "Where the money?" I don't think he said, "Hello, where's the bag at? Where's the money at?" I gave him the money. Then she came in. They got her out the limo, and then she came in, and then it was good business. But I also knew some other stories she reported on. About 3 or 4 that she reported on that I knew the parties in those stories as well. So I know that some of the things she said about them were untrue. I know for a fact that what she said about them was untrue. Some have yet to address it publicly, and I'm not going to put it out there until they decide they want to talk about it. But again, it requires resources to take certain actions against people in federal court. But if they live in the same state, they can take action. But yeah, you got to look at the messages that are coming out from the messenger, and and you got to weigh with the validity or the weight of what the guest was saying and how that impacted, for example, R. Kelly. When she said on her live, or I guess it was a prepared speech. I don't know if it was a live or prepared speech, but she said that government agencies reached out to her based on what or who. And now she said that that's very important. She put that on record that government agencies reached out to her. So now, will the lawyers for example, R. Kelly now file a motion or a freedom of information, or reporters can do it, file a freedom of information to get the materials that they've used to investigate R. Kelly, and how did she play a role in R. Kelly's trial? So you open the door. When you mention that, you open the door for people to do their research. And any reporter that is interested in these type of stories, they're going to dig, and they're going to dig, and they're going to dig. And the fact that you lost a defamation suit pretty much based on lies, now you open the door for others to now look at what it's no different than a bad cop that was on the take, or was planting drugs on on these people they've arrested, and they come to find out they got a video of him planting drugs. Well, the video for Tasha K was her own testimony. So we don't know what's going to happen with those other cases, but I'm sure that lawyers are looking at the reporting, and now they're going to question whether or not the government was complicit in promoting a lie by way of this process, criminal justice process, and using her as someone that's not credible. If that makes sense to anyone, you guys go ahead and send me a 1. Hold on, let me read this real quick. Shout out to Miss Parker. Miss Parker, watching someone drag and disrespect someone is not entertainment. They have a kindle spirit and need to come out of that dark place. It's very powerful there. That's powerful. That is powerful. Read another one. Hold on, guys. All right, I know people have been sitting there, but I got to bring this queen up here. B Sparrow. B Sparrow. I was keeping my eye on that Sparrow sitting over there waiting for me to come on in. What's up, B Sparrow?
Hello, Mr. Dennis. How are you?
What's going on? What's going on?
I have a bit of
a Sparrow.
I have a bit of a confession to make.
What's your confession?
I'm not really a Tasha K fan, but I watched a couple of her shows, and one of the show I watched, she talked about you and how you were stalking her and her family. And please correct me if I'm wrong. But then when you was on the lead attorney, I heard you say that during that time you was actually serving her papers for Cardi B. Can you
Well,
talk about?
I actually didn't say that.
Okay, my mistake.
I would say to go to the lead attorney. That's not what I said. What I
Okay, my
said
mistake.
was, no.
But with
Okay,
that being said, can you file a defamation claim against against Tasha K for saying that you were stalking her and her family?
absolutely. I mean, absolutely.
Will you pursue that?
I can't tell you what if I even intend on pursuing it at this point. I would just say that the vindication for me is that it was not true. It was not true. She also said that I was out in her old neighborhood asking questions about a kid. Now you got to remember when that was said, that was during the whole R. Kelly coverage and everything. So it had a sinister element to it, and the fact that she said that it was unfortunate. It was it was painful that she would say something like that, fully aware that that never happened. And I think that was to try to dissuade me from doing my job, and my job not only just dissuade me from doing my job, but to put me in a dark light. And it was just unfortunate. And I get it now, because now looking at the testimony and everything, and looking at the many awful things that she said in that courtroom as it related to even the person that was doing the interview with Star Marie Jones, knowing this person could have possibly suffered mental illness, but she put it still on the platform. Some people, that's why when people tell me when they, have a level of compassion for her, well, I can have compassion for you, but still think that you need to pay for what you said.
Right.
I did attempt to get redress for what was being done to me, and because she was going through something during the time, well, that's what was told to the was communicated to the court, because she could never come to the jurisdiction where it happened at, where I received a call at, and so forth. But that's water under the bridge for me. Have I taken everything off the table? Again, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything to Tasha K. It's no need for me to do anything to her. I mean, this is, I understand this is how she works. This is part of her business. This is part of SOP, or standard operating procedures. This is how she does conduct businesses. That's just, she's also had other people through, and you can search this. Other people try to go after me, and I get it. When you're a bully, you're gonna elicit the help of other bullies.
Yeah.
And but again, like I said, I can get to most people if I really need to. I have resources that I don't even have to talk about. But the fact of the matter is, you made an attempt, you fired the first shot, and and guess what? You come with you shoot with a 38, and I come with a cannon.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate with all the subscribers that she have over there. I can't imagine. She could have done some wonderful things with her channel instead of going down the road that she went down. I mean, that's why I was attracted to her, because I thought that at the time, I thought that she was very powerful, and I thought that she could, change some avenues for Black women that's trying to follow in her footsteps. But I guess that I was wrong.
Well, I think if she wanted to change some avenues for Black women, she probably should have hired a Black attorney.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm not playing race and all that, but I'm just saying that, I try to do business, with everybody. But if you promote, empowerment, and you want to, you could have had a mixed, you could have a Black attorney and a white attorney.
Right.
I mean, where did you
could have had a powerful team?
Her platform is supported by Black women.
Right.
And they're qualified Black attorneys in Atlanta. In Atlanta. I didn't see one Black attorney come in there for you. Like, where they do that at? Where do they do that at? Come on, you have attorneys that are so qualified. I can name drop some Black attorneys, Ashley Dawkins, but I know Ashley, that's my attorney. You ain't using my attorney for anything. But but they're Black women that have went to law school to help Black people. But you didn't hire a Black attorney. But that's not the biggest problem. You know, you have the right to hire anybody you want. But I'm just saying that when you tell a Black woman on your platform you pro-Black and you don't have a Black attorney, you get what you pay for. You get what your hand calls for.
So let me ask you this right quick about her attorney Olga, who spent a minute in the closing arguments.
She spent 1.1 minutes during her
1.1 minute in the closing
of the penalty phase, not the closing of the actual suit, because the suit they each had an hour and 15 minutes. But in the penalty phase, where you have an opportunity to recover from that loss, it fell flat. 1 minute, 1 second.
Do you think that was because of the write-up that she did on her lawyer on that website, the lawyer website? She wrote a bad review on her lawyer.
It could be that. It could be that she didn't want to produce her financials to argue why there should be a reduction in penalties. And I'll say this: do not fall for what she says outside the courtroom.
Yes, sir.
Look at what she said inside the courtroom. Look at the outcome, the results. Because all the people who wasn't able to come and fly in town to watch this trial and everything,
right?
You had to rely on the reporters telling you what was going on, gavel to gavel. Now, you think Law 360 or myself is going to put my whole career on the line, not giving you the same thing? I didn't talk to the reporters and let me see your notes from the reports. Let me see your notes. I had other people in there that was covering it for my outlet as well. And we compare our notes and make sure the notes align with the testimony, and then we report it. So to say the media was responsible would say that you're attacking us in our profession, also saying that the jury disobeyed the orders of the judge by looking at media. So the logic didn't make any sense. So if you know how to play chess, if you understand the game of chess, you don't move pawns when they don't need to be moved. You don't move your queen.
Right.
You keep your king protected. Her king didn't even keep her protected.
Wow. And he's Nigerian. That shocked me. Well, I thank you, sir, for allowing me on your panel. I'm a new subscriber, and I'm really glad that she lied about you, because she had me thinking some kind of way about you, and I'm glad that I got to clear that up with you.
Listen. He's in my neighborhood asking questions about my kid.
Yeah.
Let's think about that for a second.
Yeah.
1 second. 1 second. I come into a neighborhood that she doesn't live in anymore, an old neighborhood, asking questions about a kid that I don't know her kid. Listen, I got grandkids. I got 4 grandkids. If I'm asking questions, I'm asking about questions about my grandkids,
right,
and my daughters,
right,
and my son. And that's the question I want to ask. You sound ridiculous. And, I wasn't able to speak out so much, and still not going to speak out too much right now, because there's some things that are impending. And I would just like to keep that, I had to be as unbiased as possible. But obviously, when you take a shot at me in that manner, it has ramifications.
Right.
Maybe, it has ramifications, not me directly, but the outcome of the case. I knew that, I saw that there was evidence that she was engaging in cyberbullying. And, Cardi reached out to me. I didn't reach out to Cardi. She reached out to me, and she wanted help. She was in distress. She knew I worked on other high profile stories, and she needed help.
Awesome.
She needed help.
And you came to the rescue.
Right. Absolutely. I have people now reaching out to me in my, they're going through some similar things. And I'm looking at everything. I'm ascertaining whether or not it's something I can really help out with. I just don't work with celebrities. I work with people that are less fortunate and they're able to defend themselves.
Right.
I mean, if I can't use the tools that God gave me to use in my career, being almost 60 years old, then what good are the tools? What good are the tools if I can't help someone else? So when people take advantage of the weak, if you have the ability to help to lift that person, they try to lift that person. You know, I
Right.
don't care if you're a celebrity or you're the guy next door. I grew up in the hood. You know, I grew up in the hood, and I understand how people were bullied. You know, so hey, and she's from the Bronx, and you know, I have a special affinity towards people from the Bronx as long as they're doing the right thing. Not everybody in the Bronx is good people. I can tell you that now.
Right.
Not everybody from the Bronx are good people. You know, so it's not like I'm supporting everybody from the Bronx, but if you're doing the right thing, you're helping people, you are using what you have, your abilities to help other people in a good fashion. Yeah, I'm probably going to lean towards helping you. But if I find that you are not, you know, genuine in your messaging, then yeah, I'm probably not. You know, and that's all I got. You know, really, I appreciate you coming on the platform, guys.
Thank you,
We got
sir.
1,989. When I get off this live, I better see at least 1,900 people there. I appreciate you supporting the channel.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you could be doing something else. You know, and is that a microphone I see? What's that there? Seeing it right there on the? Is that a microphone?
Right
What's
here?
that there?
Right
Oh,
here?
yeah. What's
Yeah,
that?
that's my snowball mic.
Yeah, I said, what the heck going on here? What the
Snowball
hell going
mic.
on? It look good. I have
All
one
right,
here
sir.
too, by the way. Hold on. Bring that mic here. Hey. We
Okay.
good. We good.
Thank you, sir. Have yourself a great day.
Listen. I gotta tell you this before I leave. This is very important. I want you to
Okay.
pay attention.
Okay.
Change the battery in your smoke detector because I heard it beeping.
Yes. Thank you
Go
for
change that
reminding me.
battery.
Thank you.
Go ahead. You know, go get that battery changed. We don't want your beeps over here.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, that's a smoke detector
I
battery.
believe you
Don't mean
called
to
me
put you
on
out there, but
YouTube. Telling me. Thank you, sir. Have a blessed one.
you too now. You too.
Yeah, he told me to change.
No. I hear the guy in the background. He needs to be changing that.
That's my husband.
I know he needs to be changing that. You don't be hearing no beeps in there.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care now. Take care. All right, guys. I got to get up out of here. I appreciate you guys. Coming to the platform. I'm trying to get in the groove of this. Bear with me. You know, I'm trying to step it up a little. I know you saw my first video. You saw my second video. You know, every day it's a growing process. Nothing happens overnight. And if you don't see me on here, it's probably because I'm traveling in another jurisdiction. But I will be back. You know, I don't need to keep coming on talking about this. But if the person is attacking someone and they're making it, if they still engage in this campaign of attack on that person, I may jump on while I'm on the plane, or I may jump on while I'm in the car and and talk about it. I may talk about it. Guys, please support this platform. Please. I will bring you some really quality guests. Just getting it, like I said, I'm just getting the groove of this. You know, this is new media. I'm from print journalism. But I do enjoy the banter I'm having with people. It gives me it teaches me as well, listen to other people, because you know, I don't know everything. You know, you can learn from the cradle to the grave. And everyone can learn something from this experience. Appreciate you guys. Let's see what we have here. Okay, Tiffany, I thank you, Tiffany. You are so wonderful. Everyone, go follow Tiffany, please. Go follow Tiffany, please. Her name's Tiffany, please. Go follow her, guys. And also, if you come on my platform, if I hear your smoke detector going off, I'm gonna stop your stream. I'm gonna tell you go get a battery. I'm going to head to lunch, guys. I appreciate you. The video is going to stay here until I decide to take it down. If that's never, it'll never be here. It won't be here much longer. But I'm gonna keep it up. I promise you, it'll be up there. Guys, have a pleasant day. I appreciate you, and we are gone.